Thank you.
So the proposal that we've seen from the Trudeau government for pharmacare is something that we've seen without any factor given to the cost in a platform. And when it's been analyzed, it's about a $15 million, I think it's a $15 million a year expenditure. So that means we'd be adding another $15 million to the debt every single year. Another $15 million in the already massive deficits that he's running. And we also have to look at the fact that about 98% of people have some kind of coverage, whether it be an employer plan or otherwise, that already exists. And so when we look at this issue, what impact will that then have? And what kind of standards will this universal plan then have? And will people, in 98% of cases, potentially be worse off? So if we're going to look at this, it should be looked at from the perspective of filling the gaps that exist.
Thank you. This is another specific question. This is for Mrs. Wellwood. This comes from a young lady in the audience, and I do think it's important to engage our youth. And so I'm going to, this was a late submission, but I'm going to ask this one. Mrs. Wellwood, though you are wanting to focus on problems that are definite, how will you deal with the negativity if climate change becomes a huge problem and you're not prepared?
That's a good question. So I think Canadians are very innovative, and we have some of the smartest people on the planet in this country. And so I honestly believe that we can face just about any challenge that's thrown at us. I want our youth to have hope. I don't want them to look at the world from a place of fear or panic. That saddens me. I have a little girl who is 8 years old, and I'm here because I want her to live out her dreams. I want her to, at this stage in her life, think about rainbows and unicorns, to be honest. And so I don't think we're going to be unprepared. Why? Because I think we have the brain power and the willingness to take on any challenge that we are presented with. Thank you. This one's Mr. Richards. Mr. Richards, if you're going to pay off debt and put money in my pocket, what services are you going to cut, or will you increase taxes? Or both?
Well, I can give you a really easy answer on the taxes. We will lower taxes. There's not going to be an increase in taxes. So that can make that very clear right now. In terms of paying down the debt, I believe that we can do that in a responsible way. Getting rid of deficits and then paying down debt, I believe that we can do that in a responsible way. I believe that can be done without having to make major cuts in services. There are a whole host of ways, but I will also say this, there's a couple of major suggestions that we've made. We're going to try to put an end to corporate welfare. So we're talking about $1.5 billion savings there. We've announced just today that we'll be reducing our foreign aid, particularly for the high and medium income countries. We want to focus on the countries where assistance is most needed, but we'll reduce it by 25%, which will save another $1.5 billion. So those are some of the ways that we can have to put a little bit of money back in people's pockets and make sure we take care of Canadians here at home.
Thank you. Candidates, do you support more nuclear power to offset problems with oil and gas, either real or perceived? I believe we were on Mrs. Wellwood to start this next round.
Sure. I believe that we have the natural resources that we need in this country to deal with the energy that we require. I don't think we need to look at nuclear. I think we have oil and gas companies, which are not just only oil and gas companies, by the way. They are energy companies. They support green technology. They do research and development. And I think that questions like this really are about Canadian ingenuity. And yeah, we have a private sector that's very strong and very resilient, and they're going to do what makes sense. We have to take a look at what the resources we have and make the best use of those. And I think we have a strong oil and gas sector that we just need to support. I don't think we need to look any further than that.
Our parties are not in favor of nuclear, and that's because we're in favor of alternative technologies such as solar, geothermal, and wind farms, which we know really works well in Alberta. I'm assuming it works well in the rest of Canada, but this is the riding I'm in. And I know that for the past 4 years, we have traveled immensely far away from the classic oil energy. And that's not to downgrade that iconic energy source in Alberta. That's to say we've known we've needed to diversify for a very long time. And so, no to nuclear, yes to alternative. Thank you.
Well, I want to start on this one by saying this. Oil and gas are going to be a part of our energy future for a long time to come yet. And why are we disadvantaging our own Canadian oil and gas at the expense of other countries that are taking advantage of those opportunities? We have some of the most innovative people in the world. We have some of the most environmentally responsible energy produced right here in Canada. And we're not even servicing our own needs with it. We could be getting more of it out to the world. So there's the first step. In terms of moving towards alternatives, yes, eventually that will happen. We're a long ways from that, I believe. But that will happen. And as it is being done, I don't think it should be dictated by politicians. I think what we do is we encourage people and companies to create new technologies, to create new innovations. And I know we have some of the best innovators in the world that will come up with all kinds of great solutions. But we even have products now, like say, for example, our natural gas that can provide power to replace some of the coal-fired plants in places like China and elsewhere. That's what we should be looking at.
Thank you.
I do agree that oil and gas will be a part of our future, but I don't think eventually and clean energy should be in the same sentence. Like I said before, Alberta does have the best potential in this country for wind and solar energy. We have a municipality here in Alberta that is going carbon neutral by installing solar panels on all of its municipal buildings. It's not easy, but it's possible. Alberta also has thousands of abandoned and orphaned oil wells that we can turn into geothermal energy. The work and the money has already been spent to dig those oil wells. All we have to do is put workers there to extract the heat, to heat homes. We can also create greenhouses to increase Canada's food. That's all I have.
Thank you.
So we've adapted this question. It was geared to one candidate, but because we can, we adapted it to all of you. Yesterday, as I'm sure you're aware, a rebel news reporter, David Menzies, was ejected from a Conservative campaign event in Whitby, Ontario. He was then later arrested and handcuffed by Andrew Scheer's RCMP security detail while he was on a public sidewalk. Thinking of this situation, how do you interpret it to your views of freedom of the press and treatment of media? I believe that we're on Mrs. Wilson.
Let me go. Yes. So, this is a freedom of the press question. Excellent question. But the rebel, I don't know, you can't really call them a newspaper. They're not journalists, as Relevant admitted in a court case where you're supposed to be telling the truth. He's not a journalist, he's just an entertainer. It's just his shtick. So I think it's probably pretty rude of Mr. Scheer and his staff to throw someone out who wanted to come and ask a question or listen to whatever he wanted to say. But I don't think it's a question of freedom of the press. They're not, the rebel media is not the press, right? Okay? You can't throw them out if they're not journalists.
It's press progress. And look at that. What does the local press here think?
Sorry, I was asking, talk to me after, it sounds dead interesting. Thanks.
Thank you. Everybody behave. Mr. Richards?
So, I want to clear up a misconception. Events like what we're talking about, the leader of a political party doesn't make decisions about who enters and who doesn't enter an event. And you shouldn't make this decision. This is a decision made by the local police force. And when these events are put on, there was an announcement that was taking place that Mr. Scheer was a part of. And there's media that are accredited. There's all kinds of reasons why certain, might be space limitations, it might be whatever, but certain media are accredited. In this case, this individual wasn't an accredited media. Apparently caused a bit of a ruckus, and the police made a decision. And that was their decision. So if someone is upset about that decision, it's something I would take up with that police force. Now, I will also point out that this individual was in fact on the invitation list for a event that Mr. Scheer was featured at later in the day. So he did have the opportunity to have access to Mr. Scheer. So I want to make that very clear.
Thank you. Mr. Collins?
I will admit I'm not very pushed up on the specific event in this question. Campaigning is a very time-consuming thing, so I really don't know. And I don't want to speak to the partisan undertone in the question. But I will speak to the freedom of the press, and while I sort of agree with Ms. Wilson that the Rebel is not an accredited media, I do believe that they are journalists, and they're still trying to pursue their craft, and they all have the right to be in the information.
I think everybody knows how I feel about that. Mr. Menzies is an accredited journalist. He's been writing for 30 years as a journalist. To say that the leader of a party doesn't pick or choose, his security detail has to take their directions from somewhere, do they not? This is a blatant excuse to censor and provide, it lacks leadership. I'm going, what was that man with two artificial hips, by the way? Was he a threat to anybody? He was there to report the news. And I'm going to say that the Rebel was not, anybody in here get the media from the Rebel? Many people do. And I'm going, do you not have a right to what they represent and what they present in their information? Either we are a free and democratic society and we're going to protect our freedoms of speech and expression, or we're not. And the freedom of the press is critical to that.
So we have approximately 10 minutes left, and we thought it appropriate to give each candidate several minutes to make their closing remarks to all of you. 2 minutes. Sorry, I shouldn't say several. That's fair. 2 minutes. I just got, 4 from the moderator. And then we'll have our final closing and thank yous at that point. So, who wants to go first?
Well,
I go first, right? Because wasn't I last? Or maybe I wasn't.
you know what?
Who did their introduction last? Yes, you
I
were.
was.
So why don't you go first?
Yeah, thanks.